Hello, you are listening to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 3. This is a space where you can escape the real world and immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and today you are listening to my interview with Jackie. Jackie is a Disneyland expert, and we talk all about her first trip to Walt Disney World in Florida. You are going to love hearing her comparisons with Disneyland. This show is brought to you by our sponsor, Trolley Lane Travel, and owner Becky Abruzzetti. Becky and her agents are Disney experts. You will get their personalized attention 24/7 from the moment you start planning all the way to the end of your trip. Your agent is your single point of contact and advocate. Anytime you want to plan a new vacation, just contact your agent directly. Jackie used Becky to help plan her trip only 28 days out. All of the agents at Trolley Lane Travel have insider tips and tricks to help guide you along your Disney vacation. The best thing is, they are on top of all the promotions Disney resorts are offering, so you can feel comfortable that you are getting the best deal. Saving you time and money is what they are best at. All of this and more is complimentary to you when you book your vacation with them. Let Trolley Lane Travel help you plan your next magical vacation. Visit them on the web at trolleylanetravel.com and go to their Request a Quote page for a free, no-obligation quote. They are also on Facebook and Instagram at Trolley Lane Travel LLC. Tell them Disney Travel Tales sent you. Okay, so let's begin our adventure with Jackie. Imagine yourself with your favorite Disney drink. Mine is a rum blossom, and let's go. All right. Hi, Jackie. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with Disney vacations?
So I'm Jackie. I am a huge Disney lover. I've been to Disneyland countless times. I've been an annual pass holder there for the most part of 20 years. We basically have lived there. My son's 6 and has lived there for the most part of his life as well. Have stayed at the Disney resorts close to Disneyland, but this was our first time going to Disney World. We've never done a Disney cruise, a Lonnie, so it was a very fun, exciting trip to be able to experience a Disney park that wasn't just Disneyland or California Adventure.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's I always like to hear people's first reaction to Disney World because it can be very overwhelming, but it's also like so exciting.
That's exactly what it was. It was just like not knowing what to expect, and just the fact that it was Disney and a whole new world, but still just having it be Disney.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so what were your dates of travel?
So we left here in California on April 14th, and then we came home on April 19th. So we were gone for a total of 6 days.
Okay, and where did you fly from, and where did you land?
So we flew from Orange County John Wayne Airport, and then we landed at the Orlando International Airport.
Did y'all do the Magical Express?
We did. Best thing ever.
Oh, y'all had a good experience? That's awesome.
We did.
Okay, good. When you got to the Magical Express, did y'all have to wait long on the bus, or did it kind of leave soon?
It was super easy. Once we got into the line, I think we just had we had a big group of a cheerleading group in front of us, so probably 15, 20 girls there. But after that, it was maybe a 5-minute wait, and we're able to get right on the bus.
Oh, and who traveled on this trip?
It was my husband, Steven. We were there celebrating our 8-year anniversary.
Oh, that's exciting. How fun. I've always wanted to do an adults-only Disney trip, but now that my kids are older, they would never let that happen. I'm going to have to wait till they move out.
We actually talked about that. Okay, we'll have to make plans later on for another adult trip, but that's not going to happen for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, because once they know, they're not going to let you.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay, so what resort did you stay at?
So we stayed at the Caribbean Beach Resort.
And what were your thoughts? When you got there and pulled up and saw it for the first time?
I I think just so unbelievable, like it was actually happening. The fact that we finally were there. The lobby was gorgeous. Like it truly felt like we were walking to somewhere at the Caribbean. Like just the most beautiful open lobby that was just completely renovated. And then the most exciting part is like once we got out of the lobby, we saw the pool, and it's like the pool that has like the pirate ship. And I just remember as like a kid growing up, like that was the pool that you saw in all the advertisements for Disney World, and it was like I'm getting to stay here. Like this is where I'm at, and it was so much fun. Really beautiful area, just walking through the whole entire resort.
Yeah, they have a really nice pool. That's definitely a plus for that resort. What building did y'all stay in? Do you remember?
We stayed in Aruba,
Okay.
the purple building.
Did you like that location?
It was really nice, super convenient. I will say it was a little hard to just be staring at the Riviera Resort and just seeing how beautiful that was. Very nice, but no, we definitely like the Caribbean Beach Resort.
Awesome. And what else did y'all do on your arrival day?
It was a very mellow first day for us. We got in late afternoon, so we kind of just wanted to take the time to rest, relax, and kind of enjoy ourselves. So we stayed just at the resort our first day. Once we got to the hotel, unpacked everything, kind of freshened up, and then we just ended up getting dinner at one of the little pool bar restaurants.
Was that food good?
It was good. Definitely very true to the Caribbean theme. So definitely something that wasn't like your open menu, you can kind of get whatever, but very good food, amazing drinks. Very just nice and relaxing to kind of sit out in the little patio, and the most perfect weather the first day.
Oh, that's so nice. Was the time change kind of hard, or did y'all adjust pretty quickly?
We adjusted pretty quickly. I think that definitely helped us the first night. I'm just kind of not feeling like we were so exhausted. We originally were going to take a later flight and not get in until about like 10 o'clock, and I'm so glad we changed that. By the time we got to our hotel, I want to say it was like 6 o'clock, and it was like the perfect time to just kind of enjoy a snack, get dinner, and not feel like we were just so out of whack.
Yeah, that's nice. It's always nice to have that chill arrival day.
And not just feel like we got there, okay, we need to go to bed now if we want to get up early. Like, we really got to enjoy.
That's great, especially when you're at a resort like that. That's a huge resort, so really getting to, explore it and look around. That's great. Okay, so let's talk about your first park day. Which park did y'all go to?
We went to Magic Kingdom for our first day.
And what transportation did you take, and how was that?
So we took the bus to Magic Kingdom, and it was the easiest thing. I want to say there's maybe like 5-10 people there were waiting for the bus as we waited. Maybe waited like 5-10 minutes the most before the bus came, and that was one thing that I loved, that how easy it was just to get wherever you wanted on the Disney properties.
That's awesome. What time did you get to the bus stop? Were y'all trying to rope drop?
We were, yes. That was my biggest accomplishment, I think, the whole entire trip. The fact that I remember looking at my watch and thinking, okay, we're actually walking out of the hotel at 6:50 in the morning when the park opens at 8, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's impressive, especially with the time change. Like, y'all were on top of that. That's awesome.
That was like, we have to do this. Like, if this is the one thing we do this trip, I want to get there early, and I want to be able to get there before rope drop.
Yes, that's great. And what were your thoughts like walking into Magic Kingdom for the first time?
It was so magical. So I will say, like, getting off the bus and just being able to see, like, oh my gosh, I can see the castle peeking out. I can see Space Mountain. It was like, it was definitely like already just pulling up on the bus, like feeling like the water is just like building up in my eyes. It was so nice. Like, security is the easiest thing. There was no line. There was no wait. We literally just walked right into the park, and we were starting to walk down Main Street right before 7:30 in the morning. So still 30 minutes before opening, and it was an empty Main Street, and like just the feeling of turning the corner, seeing the castle was like just stopping there and seeing how amazing it was a feeling that like I just I'll never forget. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous.
That's so awesome. I mean, oh, makes me want to go back. I love it too. I mean, I've been multiple times, but still every time I walk in, I feel the same way. Like it's just so cool. I love it.
So it was amazing. And the one thing that like everybody's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you get there? I was like, I just want to walk down Main Street and have a Starbucks in my hand. So that was the big thing that we had to get there, was be able to walk down Main Street, go inside the Starbucks and have my coffee, because that's all I cared about, was having the Disney cup with the Starbucks logo and the fun little designs and walking down Main Street.
That's so fun. I'm so glad you got to do that. And getting there that early with not a lot of people there, it makes such a difference.
That was honestly probably my favorite part almost the whole trip, was being able to experience that with not just like a giant crowd around us, and really kind of have that moment to ourselves. That's
so fun. So what's the first ride y'all did?
We did the Snow White Mine Train.
And how long was that wait? Do you remember?
I wanted to say it said like 30 minutes, and we got on the ride probably within 15. Oh, they really spaced it out, and they kind of, I think, were waiting a little bit until officially it hit 8 o'clock, and then the line just seemed to go so fast, and we were on that ride in no time.
Oh, that's really fast. That's great. Did you like the ride?
I did. Snow White is my favorite princess. I love Snow White, and especially I wanted to go experience something first that we haven't done before, and just have it be a full new experience.
That's fun. What'd y'all do after that?
After that, we went to Peter Pan. I think that was like a big thing. I know, especially that line can get absolutely insane. And we were walking past it and it said it was a 5-minute wait. And we're like, oh, we have to go now to experience this. So we got on Peter Pan. The queue was amazing. Like, that was the one thing that was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. It's so fun. I love, I kind of almost wish that the line was longer so I could get to enjoy and kind of see all, the little hidden details that they had.
Yeah, that's a really cute queue. Is that queue different than the one in Disneyland?
There's almost really no, it's an outside queue for the most part. There's no theme to it. You just kind of have a little turnstile. So that was a huge difference.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. That's really fun.
After that, we went to Small World. It was right across the way from us. Same thing. It said it was a 5-minute wait. So went over there. Again, a totally different experience of waiting inside Small World rather than outside, and got to do that. I feel like Small World does not get enough love, and I absolutely love Small World, so that was really fun for me.
I do too. My family, when we went, would not go on it. But the line was 30 minutes, and they were like, no.
I will say, I love that ride, but it's not something that I'm willing to wait a long time for.
Right. I agree, but I feel like if you go, you have to go on it.
Oh, absolutely. It's you have to be able to at least check it off your list.
Yes. And then what else did y'all do?
So right after that, we went to Haunted Mansion. That was the other thing that I was just so excited for. Love the Haunted Mansion. And we were able to walk right on. So all of those rides, we were able to, it said 5-10 minutes, and we walked right on to all of them. Haunted Mansion, definitely different. I was a little sad, but I totally get it for social distancing and everything. They don't have the stretching room. So we didn't get to experience that, but definitely just took a minute to kind of stand in there. And they had the music and the track going of, the voice talking to experience it. But we were able to walk right on the ride.
So it's still probably pretty early in the morning at this point.
By the time we were walking on the Haunted Mansion, I want to say it was just before 9 o'clock. So the park had been open for less than an hour. And at that point, we were walking on our 4th ride, which was whoa, this has never happened before.
Yeah, that's really good. So what'd y'all do after that?
After that, we went over to Splash Mountain. I definitely, a good 2 weeks before we went, I was on my phone every day checking the wait times for Disney World to kind of see what the trends were and what lines were the longest. So I was okay, what do we want to go do next? So Splash Mountain, I think, was only a 30-minute wait. When I noticed, when I was checking my phone previously, it was always an 80 to 60-minute wait. So I'm this is our time to go. It's early in the morning. Who cares? We will get on Splash Mountain. and was able, I think that one was about a good like 30-minute wait. So was what it said, but 30 minutes compared to what it was throughout the rest of the trip was perfect.
Yeah, that ride I've been watching too. It seems to be such a long wait all the time. So yeah, y'all got lucky with that.
And we were talking about, like, I was, my husband's like, why do you want to go on Splash Mountain so much? I'm like, I don't know why, but like, this is the longest wait, like almost on any ride in the whole entire resort. So let's go on it now. I don't know if I have like my suspicion, my little theory that we all know that Splash Mountain's going to be changing. And if people are like, we need to go on it now before it changes themes. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. But I also love Splash Mountain. That was my favorite ride growing up as a kid. So no matter what it's going to be, I'm always going to want to go on that ride.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, because when we were there too, it was always a 75-minute wait. And I think it's people just trying to get on and see it for one last time, so they say they could.
Exactly. I even had people like messaging me like, oh my gosh, it's still open? It hasn't changed yet? Like, no, it's still there. Nothing's changed quite yet.
I know. I wonder when they're going to do that. I have no idea. Okay, so what was next?
After that, we went to Thunder Mountain. So it's right across the way. Walked, I think that was like a 10-minute wait. Like, everything was just like bam, 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 bam. Like, very... a Disney experience I've never experienced like that before. Without like having fast passes and just being able to kind of pick where you want to go. It was so easy. That's my husband's favorite ride, so he was very excited to go on Thunder Mountain.
So at this point, how do you feel about walking around the park? Does it feel like much bigger than Disneyland, or how did you feel about that?
It was bigger, but it was hard for me not to be like, oh, okay, well, Haunted Mansion's over here. We go this way. It's like, nope. It was like really hard to trick my mind into thinking, Splash Mountain isn't around the corner over here. You have to walk over there, or that these rides are next to each other, or there's no New Orleans Square. It's Liberty Square. So definitely just kind of being like, okay, you don't know everything here. It was like, we actually do have to get the map out, get our phones out, and like, where do we go to next? I do love that. In the app, you can open up and it says like a 5-minute walking distance, and it can kind of tell you where to go. So that was very hard to be like, you actually don't know everything about this park. You need to really read of where to go next and what to expect.
Yeah. Oh, the app is so helpful. It's just so great.
Best thing ever about the app. Loved it.
Yeah, I totally agree. What was the weather like on this day?
It was very overcast. Warm. It was honestly the perfect weather where we weren't dying in heat, we weren't cold. It was just perfect enough for us to be in. I think I was in leggings and a t-shirt that day and was able to just enjoy and not be dying in the heat. Definitely a little humid, but nothing terrible.
And how did y'all feel about wearing masks up until this point?
Totally fine. Was not a bother at all at that point. We're pretty used to wearing masks and about. I work in a place where we do wear masks constantly, so having a mask on all day is not a problem. It was not something that we didn't even realize there was like a big issue. It was cool enough where we didn't notice it.
That's great. Yeah. Now the mask rules have changed, but I was wondering what summer was going to be like.
Yes.
I can't imagine. I bet people who have summer trips are very grateful they changed some of the rules.
Very much so. We had our family who went the week that they reopened in July, and that was just like, oh my gosh, it was so hot in a mask, and talking about their overheating experiences, and that they probably wouldn't go back until the masks had changed their rules. And so that was kind of like, oh my gosh, is that what we're going to experience? It's not as hot, but is it going to be really bad too? It's different weather than we're used to, and just a Disney day of running from one place to the other, but it wasn't as bad as what I kind of almost put in my head.
That's great. It's almost better sometimes to expect the worst, because then you're
Absolutely.
like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Exactly.
Okay, so after Big Thunder, where did y'all go?
We went into Frontierland. I think we went to Pirates of the Caribbean. Not
Okay.
Frontierland.
Adventureland.
Different to me. Yes.
Yeah.
So we went to Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was already at this point, we kind of were we don't need to run to rides. We can kind of walk. We can enjoy ourselves and kind of see where we want to go, what we want to do. But we wanted to go to Pirates. That at that point I think was a 40-minute wait. So I'm like, let's just go on it now and see how it goes. And that line was pretty true. That was like exactly 40 minutes. Like we definitely timed everything. Like, okay, it says it's 30 minutes. It's 9:30. Let's see how long it's going to be.
What did you think about Pirates?
Again, the queue is so different. It's such a long inside thing. And this is where I realized that I started to keep pulling my mask away from my nose and smelling the air to see, does it smell the same as Disneyland? And that became kind of an obsession for the rest of the trip of being able to smell the rides and thinking, ooh, does it smell the same? But the queue was like, that was really hard for us, is not knowing of like, are we even close yet? Are we almost there? Because at Disneyland, it's an outside queue that you just, twisting and turning. And then once you get inside, it's like you're almost instantly right to where the ride entrance is. So it was kind of like the unknowing of like, where are we in this wait right now?
Yes, it can feel forever. And then you're just like stuck inside and you're like, how much longer is this going to take?
That's exactly what it was. It was like, I think that line felt the longest, and it was very easy and very quick, but just because we didn't know like where we were, it was hard.
Yes, it's like they get you in there to trap you.
Pretty much. But I mean, I definitely understand, and I like, okay, I can appreciate Disney World having the inside queues, knowing what weather can be like, and like it was so much cooler with the air conditioning or the fans going. It was like, okay, this is really nice.
Yeah, it's necessary for sure.
Absolutely.
Which Pirates do you like better, Disneyland or Disney World?
That definitely Disneyland.
That's what everyone says.
It is very different. It's, in a completely different land. Like you in Disneyland, it's in the New Orleans Square. So you have you're going through the bayou and doing things. Like it was really hard not to get on the boat and not see the Blue Bayou restaurant, which is like the very nice, everybody wants to go to restaurant on the side, and not having like the slow entrance into it. But nevertheless, to not be at Disneyland for over a year, like it was just like, okay, I'm starting to feel like I am at least someone at home and to go on the rides that I've grown up on.
Yeah, that's really neat. I didn't think about that, but that's really fun. It was like a taste.
Absolutely.
Of when you're going to get to go back. Okay, so what'd y'all do after Pirates?
After Pirates was definitely time for a snack. So I am a type 1 diabetic, and that was something that we experienced the whole trip of like just running and walking, and it not being super hot, but at least warm. My blood sugars tend to kind of go a little bit lower. So I was like, okay, I need to eat something. And at this point, it was probably like 10:30, almost 11. And I was like, I know it's not really like a breakfast food, but I see the Dole Whip over there, and I got to get myself a Dole Whip. So we went and had a Dole Whip.
Hey, you're in Disney. Who cares?
Exactly. Because there was like, the things were like, okay, like my food checklist was like, I got to have all these foods. And so Dole Whip was definitely at the top. So my husband and I enjoyed a nice little Dole Whip and just kind of sat and enjoyed people watching, seeing all the rides, and just kind of like seeing how different it all was.
That sounds so nice. Okay, what'd y'all do after your snack?
We did Jungle Cruise.
Was that a long wait?
That was like a 50, I think it said 45 minutes, and we ended up waiting like 55 minutes. So definitely a long wait, but again, just one of those like classic rides where I was like, I'm just so excited to be able to go on this and to get this back into my life type of feeling.
And that's another one that's going to change. So I think that's why people are like rushing over to it.
Yes, definitely. And just to be able, like, knowing that the movie's coming out and everything else, like, wanted to be able to just go on it and to experience it.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, what was next?
After that, we did the Aladdin carpet ride.
That's always fun.
So, we like one of those things where it's like, is this a ride that we would normally go on? I think that was also something that we kind of, like, had to get our mindset out of, is that, like, when we're at Disneyland, it's like, okay, we don't need to go on all these small little rides. It's not like, we only want to make sure we get the big rides, but it's this is our first time here. We have the time to do all this. Let's go on the rides that maybe wouldn't be our first choice, but just to go on to experience it.
Did y'all like it?
It was nice. It was fun. It's just, a different feeling. I couldn't help but thinking of Full House and the episode where they go there. That was also like something where it's like, I remember Uncle Jesse or Michelle and DJ were on here. Like, I have to go on the Aladdin ride.
Oh, yeah, that's so great.
I knew that I heard somebody of mine talking about the same thing. And I was like, okay, I'm not the only person who's thinking this.
Oh, yeah, I think the same thing. So I'm right there with you. Okay, what was next?
So the next thing was we got to go to be our guest for lunch.
What time was your reservation?
Reservations were pretty early. It was 12:30.
Okay.
So that was something we booked this trip super last minute. We booked it, I want to say 28 days before we went. So it was very last minute, spontaneous. And with that, we knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of reservations open for us. And I was honestly a little heartbroken. I'm like, I really wanted to go my first trip to be our guest. And I was constantly looking on the app to see if there was a cancellation and last minute. And I was lucky enough, like a week before we went, to be able to find a last minute reservation and snag it up.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. People will cancel at the last minute. Like, stuff will open up. You just kind of have to be there looking for it all the time.
Yes, and that was like, you go and you look for it, and, you look for lunch or the dinner option, but then they have, like, the 12:30, and I would go through each little half an hour time slot, and I think it was, like, I was at 2 o'clock, and all of a sudden the 12:30 reservation opened. So even though it wasn't even the right time, it fell in that window, and I was able to snag it up.
That's awesome. So what did you think about Be Our Guest?
I love that it's just so tucked away. Like, even as you're walking up, like, it's the castle up there, the hill, and then it's just so perfectly themed, and walking in, hearing the music, and seeing the suits of armor, and, the Beauty and the Beast collage. Like, it was very cool. They were very nice when we walked up and we checked in. We had our little happy anniversary buttons, and they were like, oh, happy anniversary. Let me make a note. So that was kind of just nice to, like, get that, like, special little feeling, and to have everybody, like, tell us happy anniversary as we're walking and waiting.
That's really sweet. What did y'all get to eat?
We went into the West Wing room, and we had my husband had the French onion soup, which is his favorite soup. And, like, if there ever is a restaurant that has the French onion soup option, he's going to get. I'm trying to think what I had for the appetizer. I had the lobster bisque.
Ooh, was that good?
It was good. It was good. It was a little different. I'm like, okay, I know it's really hot outside, but, like, I'm so great. Lobster bisque is one of my favorites. It wasn't the best I've ever had, but it was definitely good.
What'd y'all get for your main entrees?
I got scallops. Scallops is always that same thing. I always have to have scallops. It's kind of been like a tradition. Whenever we go out for an anniversary, I always want scallops for, like, our special anniversary dinner. So this was kind of like our special belated anniversary dinner to have. And my husband got the filet mignon.
Ooh, yeah. Did y'all like them?
It was very good, definitely.
And then did y'all like the gray stuff and the desserts?
I'm not going to lie, that's the whole reason that I really wanted to go to Be Our Guest, because I was like, I want to try the gray stuff. They have a gray stuff at Disneyland, but I've heard from many people you have to try the Disney World, it's better. So that was just the way that they decorate it with the chip with the gray stuff in it and all the other desserts. Super fun. My husband is not a dessert person, so he also let me kind of, like, share his and got the double amounts of it.
Yeah, they have the cutest little themed desserts at that restaurant. I love it.
I just loved how everything was themed. Like, that was a lot of fun.
So overall, you liked the restaurant. It was a good experience.
I did. Definitely liked it. I like that they let you walk around and experience the other rooms too. That was really cool. I loved the West Wing. It was very nice, and I kind of like that it was tucked away to the side and dark, and kind of felt like we really were somewhere different. And but being able to walk around the ballroom and walk near the window so it looks like it's snowing, like, they just, again, the details were amazing.
Yes, that is a beautiful restaurant. I totally agree. So what'd y'all do after lunch?
After that, we're like, okay, we were so full. We were trying to definitely like, okay, let's take our time. Let's walk a little bit slower. And we walked over towards the, I guess it's not their Fantasyland, their circus area where like Dumbo is and all of that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what that's called, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So again, like just different. So like, okay, this is different area than what we're used to, but have to go on Dumbo. Went on that. So much easier that there's two of them and not just the one. So just did all the small little rides, letting that food kind of not feel like we had a food coma walking around and not go on the big roller coaster just yet.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So after that area, where did y'all go?
We went to the small little roller coaster right next door, got to experience that. And from that was really cool because you can see the construction of the Tron roller coaster that they're building. And that was super exciting.
That looks amazing.
That was something that my husband is a huge Tron fan. Like he basically bought a 3D TV just so he could watch Tron at home and experience it all. That's awesome. He was very excited to kind of think of, you think you're going to do this, you're going to do that. So something that he was okay, like in the back of his mind, I could see like we would have to come back at some point to be able to go on it.
Oh yeah, and I think it's so fun seeing rides too being built like that because you get like a little glimpse of what it's going to look like,
and just get to see it before it's launched and get to kind of like oh, we got we're there when it was being built and to see it before.
Yeah, I agree. That's really cool. Okay, so where'd you go after that?
After that, we went to Tomorrowland, and from there we went on the Carousel of Progress. My husband had no idea what it was. He was so confused, and kind of like explaining, like, well, they used to have this. This is more of like a show, sit down. Perfect timing of just getting that air conditioning, sit down for like the 15, 20 minutes you're inside there. And I had already heard the saying, it's a great big beautiful tomorrow, but never really fully understood well, where does that come from? And when the song started playing, I was like, now it makes sense. Now I understand.
I love that ride. My family too. They're just like, what?
Husband, I think, definitely dozed off a few times off and on throughout the thing, but it was just a nice little sit down, relaxing, and just kind of taking everything in.
Yeah, I think that's a fun ride. I just think it's funny when they show the future. It's not really the future anymore.
Exactly.
It cracks me up.
I like that the attendant even said that, we're going to take you to the future. And this is the future from a while ago, so it's not quite the future. And kind of making almost a little joke about it.
Yeah, it's like the past future, but whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, after Carousel of Progress, what did you do?
We did Space Mountain.
How was that wait?
That wasn't too bad. It said it was a 40-minute wait. It probably was a 30-minute wait for us. And very similar, I guess the queue is kind of to Disneyland. So again, feeling okay, this is a taste of home and that we're used to, and getting that excitement of knowing what's to come. And Space Mountain is both one of our favorite rides, so we were super excited.
So you liked it?
We did. It's totally different than Disneyland.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. The seating is the way the seating is at Space Mountain and Disney World is how the Matterhorn is at Disneyland.
Okay.
And in Disneyland, you sit person by person, side by side.
Oh.
So my husband was kind of thrown off, wait, what? And I was yeah, it's different here. And just the track is totally different. And so I think that was really fun because it was the first real roller coaster that we were on for the trip, and not knowing what the track, what direction you're going to go into and how it goes. So that was, I remember just laughing the whole entire time. And, the first ride where our hands were up in the air and screaming and just feeling like we were on the true theme park experience.
Oh yeah. It's so fun. Okay. So after Space Mountain, what did y'all do?
We went to the Buzz Lightyear ride.
Oh, yeah. That's so fun. How was the wait for that?
So that was actually longer than what we expected. Like, we're used to a quick line at Disneyland, but at Disney World, I think we waited like 25 minutes. But this was later in the afternoon at this point, and it was starting to, the clouds were going away, the sun was breaking out. So you're like, okay, it's kind of nice to be able to get a break inside and to feel that air conditioning.
Was the park starting to get crowded?
Definitely. Really noticed that, like, in the morning it was so empty, and then probably around like 11 o'clock starting to really kind of like, okay, people are starting to show up now. They're not as crazy as we were to be here so early. And then later in the afternoon, it was like, oh, okay, here's everybody. We're seeing them come in now.
Yeah. That's interesting how that works. I feel like so many people used to rope drop, but I don't know if necessarily it's as popular as it used to be.
That's what I kind of thought. I was like, okay, I feel like it was going to be super busy in the morning, and in the afternoon it would kind of die off, but it was definitely the opposite.
Yeah. So after Buzz, where did y'all go?
I think we got another snack at this point. It was time for a churro. That was my other, like, top 3 things I had to check off the food list to be able to experience a churro. So just kind of sat there. We sat right in front of the castle and just kind of took that experience in to just enjoy the beauty of the castle.
Did y'all see any cavalcades with characters?
We did. That's actually the first cavalcade that we saw go by. And also, like, why is this music playing? Like, it got really quiet and it got really loud. Like, what is going on? But from, like, doing some research and, looking at videos, it's like, oh, I think one of the little cavalcades is coming. And that was really cute to see.
Yeah, they just kind of pop up on you. It's funny.
They do. All of a sudden, you're like, wait, what's coming? What's happening? But I like that, we saw a few of them go by throughout the times we were there, and that they were different characters and, not just always the same little float that they have go by.
Yeah, I actually, when we were there, I loved them. I almost liked them better than the parades. The parades are great, but they take up so much time.
They do. And then, having to find a good spot and sit there. And, if it's a newer parade or something, like, you have to camp out. Like, it definitely takes up a huge chunk of the day. I'm a parade person. My husband is not. So he really appreciated that it was a quick little, stand here, wave, and then we can keep going through our day.
Yeah, I'm a big parade person too, and my husband isn't. So yeah, he felt the same way. He's like, oh, hi. Okay, now we can go.
Exactly.
Okay, so after your snack, what did y'all do?
We went to Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh, that's a good
And something that I remember, like, was my dad's favorite attraction growing up. We always went to Country Bear Jamboree as a kid. And my husband was like, what's Country Bear Jamboree? And I was like, I think I really grabbed his hand. I was like, we're going, let's go. Like, and was like pulling him, like running there because I was so excited.
Well, at this point, y'all had done almost everything.
We did. It was starting to be like, okay, well, let's take our time. Let's kind of decide on what we want to do or what we can do again.
Yeah, I mean, y'all got so much done. That's so nice. So did he like Country Bear Jamboree?
He was not so much a fan. It was just not what he expected. Yeah. And for me, it was nothing like the nostalgia. We haven't had Country Bear Jamboree for, 20 years now.
Right.
So it was like, oh my gosh, like I remember this part, or I forgot about this. And I think he started dozing off again in there.
That's so funny.
Where I was just kind of just like enjoying, laughing. I even remember like texting my dad like a picture. Like, look where we are. And he like texted me back like one of like the songs that the bear sings. And like just felt like the fact that he remembered that was just like, it was very like special and nostalgic to me to get to experience it.
That's very sweet. I love that story. That's great. So what'd y'all do after that?
We had to hit Thunder Mountain again, since it was right across the way. And that was like a 20-minute wait, able to go on and enjoy that. Super easy. Always like needed something at this point to kind of like wake us up. We were starting to feel the fatigue of getting up early and doing so much already. Like, okay, we need to wake up.
Oh yeah, it hits you kind of hard.
It totally did.
The Disney exhaustion.
Absolutely, and it was coming and hitting hard.
So after Thunder, what did y'all do?
Then we went back to Haunted Mansion, just okay, another sit down, cooler ride, be able to enjoy that ride again and kind of like I wanted to keep going on rides again and be like, "Ooh, did I miss anything?" And that definitely was something that we noticed. Like, I didn't notice that last time, or this is over here, and get to enjoy that a little bit more.
Yeah. Did you think that Haunted Mansion was kind of like extra dark by chance?
Yes. So I wear glasses and I don't have the best eyesight, but it was like I have my glasses on. I think actually the first time we went on, I did not put my glasses on just because I'm like, oh, I know what I'm looking for. And the second time, like, I'm actually going to put my real glasses on and not just have my sunglasses on top of my head to be able to like see. But I was like, I don't know what's with my eyes. Maybe I'm just more tired than I thought, but it was so dark.
It's so dark, and there's like people don't know why they made it. They think they made it darker than usual, but when we went on it too, I was like, I can barely see anything.
It was something that, like, okay, I'm so glad you mentioned that, though. I didn't really, like, I thought it was just me. I'm like, this is probably just me. I, haven't been on Haunted Mansion for so long, or maybe it's different over here, but it was so dark.
Yeah, it's dark. It's really strange. I wonder what's going on with that. Who knows? So what was next?
After that, it sounds silly, but we went to where, like, the little tangled bathroom area was. I was like, I just want to be able to go there. My sister's favorite movie is Tangled, and I was like, I have to be able to send her pictures and just to, even though it's not really like an attraction, but to be able to take in the little Tangled area is so cute. Like, I just love it. Even though it's a small, tiny little area, they just put so much detail and so much of the movie there.
That is a really cute area. What'd y'all do after that?
After that, we kind of like had a long of like, hey, well, what do we want to do? Should we go on anything else? And we thought, we know that we have one more day here. Like, it was about like 3 o'clock. Like, do you want to just go back to the hotel and kind of see what to do there? So we decided to head home for the day.
And y'all took the bus back?
We did. It was so easy. It was like, that was just like how crazy it was to just walk there, wait for the bus, I don't know, not even 5 minutes and get on. And like, that was just like so relieving.
Yeah, that's nice. What'd y'all do at the resort?
So we just went back to the resort. Definitely just took like that 30 minutes, I think, just laying on the bed, kind of trying to fight off not wanting to go to sleep, but just be able to relax and rest, and sit in a nice cool air conditioning room felt amazing.
Yes, especially after walking for hours and hours.
Exactly.
So did y'all just stay at the resort the rest of the night?
We decided to go to Disney Springs that night.
Okay,
so
how was that?
Got freshened up, changed a little bit, and was excited to go head there.
And y'all took the bus there as well?
We did. The bus was just, I can't, how easy it was, and just to be able to go wherever you want and not just have it be like something that you have to really like plan out. It just that it's always rotating and that we never waited long was a great experience with that.
That's really great. What'd y'all do at Disney Springs?
So Disney Springs, I was a little worried. Going into downtown Disney at Disneyland is a really long wait for security. But we walked right inside Disney Springs, but almost had that shell shock and right as we walked in, like, oh, this is huge. This is, I don't even know where to start. And This was our one night where we didn't have reservations. We were like, well, let's just kind of see where we can go. So we were just like, let's just start walking around and see what catches our eye. So we walked and kind of like, nothing that was really like, oh, do we really want to eat there? And then I saw the Edison, and I've seen like a couple of videos and had heard good things about it. So I'm like, let's go put our name in there. So it was about like an hour wait they gave us, but it was kind of fun. It was nice to be able to like walk around and just enjoy Disney Springs as we were waiting for our food.
So y'all ate at the Edison. How was that? How was the food?
The food was really good. The atmosphere was amazing. For it just being an adult trip with just my husband and I, we really got to enjoy it. It was something that I don't think we would have enjoyed as much if we had our son with us. Mm-hmm. They had a live musician playing that was playing he was an amazing singer. The music was just really fun. It was a very modern, felt very classy adult type of thing. So it was very just nice feeling. My husband got a burger and I had a grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup.
Oh, yeah. That's my kind of food.
It just it was the one time on my trip that I was freezing. I think I got sat underneath the air conditioning vent and I was like, I haven't been cold. We haven't brought a jacket with us because we haven't needed it. So I was like, I just want something warm. And it was definitely hit the spot right.
That sounds like a really fun date night. A date night on vacation. I mean, that's great.
And that's exactly what it felt like. It was like, okay, this is like a date night. Like, this is something that if we had back at home, I would totally love to go back to and go there because it just felt very the perfect date night.
That's fun. Did y'all do anything else at Disney Springs?
Definitely had to do some shopping. Wanted to go walk around and see everything. We did the World of Disney that night. I was on a hunt for a few items to see if I could find. So had to go to World of Disney and check it all out. Again, just so big, so huge. Like, I think at this point my husband was kind of tired because I was just walking in circles. I'm like, oh, I missed this over here, or that's over there, and just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, that store can be kind of overwhelming. It's humongous.
It's so big, so big. You know, again, understanding that with everything going on, that there's only the one entrance. You can't just walk in wherever. And so it was like, where do we even go to get inside?
I know when we went, I could not find the entrance. I kept asking people, where's the entrance? Because it's like tucked around the back.
We heard somebody like talking like, oh, it's over here. I'm like, they know where they're going. Follow them. That was something we kind of had to do. It's like, these people know where they're going. They look like they're experts. Follow them.
That's great. So what'd y'all do after that?
We stayed there till about 11, which is when they closed. So it was like time to go home, time to get some rest.
Oh, that's awesome. And y'all took the bus back and that was good?
Took the bus back. Super easy. Just the fact that there was like never a wait. I don't think we waited for any of the buses more than like 10 minutes. And that was really nice.
That is really nice. Y'all got really lucky with that because I've heard nightmare stories about Disney Springs and buses.
I've seen videos of it and I was like, okay, good. Like, I don't know if those are just bad days or we're here for a good day, but we never had a bad experience.
That's great. Okay, so let's talk about your second park day.
Second park day was Epcot for us.
Okay, and how did you get there?
We did the Skyliner.
Okay, and about what time did y'all arrive?
So I very strategically planned to do Epcot on our second day because that park didn't open until 11. I was like, okay, after, arriving a full day at Disney, and I want a morning that we can sleep in and not have to worry about getting up for rope drop. So I think leaving our hotel like a little bit after 10 to walk to where the Skyliner was. The Caribbean Beach Resort does have a little Skyliner availability to go right there in the resort. I think we maybe waited 15, 20 minutes to get on. By the time we got on the Skyliner, we were entering Epcot, like basically right as they were opening.
Did you like the Skyliner?
I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I think that was our first time that we were up on the Skyliner. We were really kind of able to see, like, oh my gosh, we didn't realize how close we were to Epcot. Like, I could see the giant golf ball right there. And, there's, the Tower of Terror over there. Like, I had no idea that where our resort was so close to where all the other parks were.
I know. It's pretty crazy. Once you get up in the sky, you're like, well, I can see everything.
Because not, ever being to Florida before, it was like, where are we? Where is everything? And so that was like a really kind of cool, like, oh, I kind of know where everything is now from up here.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't think about that. That is really fun. So what did y'all do when y'all got to Epcot?
My main thing was I want to do the Frozen ride. I'm a huge Frozen person. Like, I feel like I am the most like Anna. I feel like my husband is the perfect Kristoff. My car is making spin. Like, I love Frozen. I'm slightly the Frozen fan. And again, by looking at the wait times, Frozen, the ride was always a longer wait. And like, I just want to go now and get it out of the way. So that way we're not waiting an hour plus line later. And it said it was like a 40-minute wait. And I was like, maybe we should wait. My husband's like, let's just go on it. You've been talking about this the whole entire time. And it ended up being like 20 minutes. So it was the perfect time to ride and go on.
Oh, that's really good. How did you like it?
I did. It was different than what I expected it to be. But spoiler alert, nobody's been on it. The part where like you're seeing Elsa and she let it go, and all of a sudden the boat moves and you start going backwards was like so cool. I loved it. Definitely something that I haven't experienced on a Disney ride before. So that was super fun.
Okay, so after Frozen, where did y'all go?
After Frozen, this is because I knew I wanted to go right to Frozen, and after that, it was like, I don't even know where we are. Like, I was on the app and walked right to the Frozen ride, and I was like, I don't know what's next. I don't know where we are. What do we do? And it was kind of like, I started feeling really overwhelmed. I don't know if we should stay over here. Where should we go? And I had to, I did like a phone a friend. I started texting my family who has gone there multiple times and was like, what do I do? Give me all the tips and tricks of what to do next. So we decided from there, let's go to Test Track just to do that. Something, again, I've seen through all of the Disney growing up and, you know, it being one of the bigger rides. I wanted to experience that.
Did y'all like Test Track?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Getting just to see all the different car parts. It didn't make sense to us in the queue. You're kind of like realizing later on, like, oh, I think you're supposed to build your own car. But none of that is available with COVID and not being able to touch or do things. So we're kind of like, what is this? Like, what are they talking about? Like, it was kind of like, it doesn't make sense. And then the further into the ride, my husband was like, oh, I guess you make your own model and then you test it. And it was like, he was like, that's so cool. And you could tell that he was like kind of bummed. He was, you know, my 37-year-old child, he was upset that he didn't get to build a car.
Yeah, that part is really fun. It's kind of a bummer they're not doing it. But yeah, you build your own car and then one of the people that you're with, y'all get to test drive their car. And so you kind of have to choose. And so but then, yeah, you test drive it. And it's neat. We've done it before. I don't really know. Like, we did it this time and we did it before, and I couldn't tell a difference when you're actually in the car. Now, the queue is more, like, fun, especially for little kids. Like, my son was 9 when he did it, and he was obsessed with it. Like, he loved it. But, yeah, and my husband liked it just as well. So that is definitely fun, and it passes the time, which is nice because that can be a really long wait.
It was. That was about a 15-minute wait, and it was true to what the wait time said. So it kind of seemed just to tick by for us and kind of just like, okay, again, just not knowing of like, are we even close? Where are we going? We're zigzagging, but where are we zigzagging to?
Yes, that's another line they like trap you in.
Totally.
You have no idea where the end is. That's just something else y'all are going to have to do when you go back. Hopefully it'll be
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so what'd you do after Test Track?
After that, we went to, I think it's Mission to Mars?
Mission Space.
Mission Space, that's
Yes.
what it is.
How was that?
We liked it. So they first, like, you know, we were confused walking up, like, oh, there's the green side or the orange side. And we, you know, asked the cast members, like, what's the difference? Which one should we go on? And they asked us, like, do you get motion sickness? You know, do you have anything like that? And we're like, no. And like, orange, you have to do the orange. And we're like, okay. So, and, you know, at this point, our family was trying to text message back. Okay, try this, do this. And they asked, you know, where are you? And we told them. And like, we were talking to 2 different people, both of them like, which side did you pick? And we're like, we picked the orange side. And they're like, one of them was started laughing and was like, good luck. And the other one was trying to give me like a warning, like, you know, make sure you feel okay. Are you going to be all right? And I started getting really nervous. Like, what am I getting myself into?
Like what's going to happen to me?
Yes. And then they have like, you know, the videos of, and I felt like they kept going over and over, like, if you aren't up to this, if you feel any of this, exit the ride now, exit the ride now. And I started getting kind of like, I don't have any type of motion sickness. I love roller coasters or just the thrill of any type of ride. But I was like, should we not do this? Did we make a mistake? But we were happy we picked. We were kind of confused. They put you in a little spaceship, and every person's supposed to have a different job. But because of social distancing, it was just my husband and I in there. And we're like, well, no one's the pilot. But, you know, we have the engineer here. So we're like, okay, you do this part and you do that part. But I'm very happy to say we enjoyed the ride, did not have any type of sickness feeling. Definitely felt the G-forces hitting you when you're experiencing the ride, but we were both just cracking up of the feeling of it all. And it was really fun. We liked it.
Yeah, that's a fun one. And it is funny. They really try to freak you out before you get on it.
They did. Talking to my family members, he was like, well, how was it? He's like, I've never actually done the orange slide because I've always been nervous. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you have to do this. And he was like, okay, like, I'm glad that you said that because I've always been nervous, but now that I know, I'm going to go over there next time.
That's so funny. So what'd y'all do after Mission Space?
After that, we walked to the Epcot ball, which I honestly, truly did not know that was a ride. I thought it was always just a display. And I was like, okay, like at this point, we just were looking at the list of rides and like, okay, what makes sense for us to go to next and not have to like zigzag all around the park. So I was like, okay, the next one is the, I forget what the ride is.
Spaceship Earth.
That's what it is. So I'm like, where's Spaceship Earth? And I was confused looking for it. I was like, it's inside. And we made like the Zoolander like joke. I'm like, it's inside of the ball. And that was waited for that line. I think it was like a 20-minute line. It was about 15 minutes. I don't know. I've never had even really heard about that ride. I didn't know what to expect or what it was like. It was not what I expected, not in a bad way, but just kind of in a like, what in the world is this?
It's very interesting. It's very old.
Very much. Like my husband was very like, what did you take me on again?
Oh yeah. It's fun, but you have to do it. I mean, it's in the golf ball.
That's exactly what it was. It's just like, we have to be able to experience everything and go check it out.
That's so funny. What'd y'all do next?
We went over to the little Nemo area, the aquarium type of little place.
Did y'all like that area?
We did. So we have Nemo at Disneyland, but it's the submarine ride. And it is like the most cramped. My son, it's one of his absolute favorite rides, and I dread going on it because you're just so squished in with everybody. So it's a cute ride, but I just don't like the feeling of it. So being able to sit in your own little vehicle, it was like, oh, this is so nice. It's the same kind of feeling of the ride that you get to actually enjoy it more.
Okay, so what did y'all think about the like flower and garden festival, the topiaries and stuff? Like, how did you like all that? Or
it was really pretty. Definitely getting to just kind of like, oh look, there's this character. And see through everything. I felt like we were rushing so much because we didn't know where we were, or we're just kind of like, again, feeling overwhelmed with like, what do we do? What should we see? When we saw one, I was like, oh, look, there it is. But we weren't looking for them. But then as time went on, we were kind of like, okay, we had like a little guide that they give you that I've worked to who to look for and where it is. And we're like, okay, let's go over here to go see these characters.
Yeah, they're just like spaced out, and some of them are really cute.
They were gorgeous ones.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something that I've never seen before at a Disney type of thing, and just being able to see it, it was so pretty.
Yes. What did y'all do after the Nemo ride?
We walked through the aquarium area, which we loved. I am a huge sea animal creature fan. So to be able to walk through there was super cool. Kind of really took our time. Epcot was a very hot and humid day. So kind of that like little sanctuary area of like, let's just take our time in here and feel like we kind of get to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, and Epcot can be one of those parks that feels really hot. I don't know if it's the water in the center that kind of puts off the humidity or what, but it can feel very hot there.
It definitely did.
So what'd y'all do after the aquarium?
After that, we were starting to feel a little hungry. And I feel like that's where the overwhelmingness came again. Because with the, flower garden area, there's all the different food areas and just all the different tastings. And it was like, where do we go? What do we want to eat? Like, there's too many options that I don't want to miss something or waste my time on something that's not good. And totally just feeling overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah, Epcot, you also kind of have to plan your food because there's way too many choices. It's not like you can just go there and be like, okay, let's grab a snack. It's like hundreds of things to choose from.
And that's exactly where we messed up, is that we did no planning for this. And I had a very let's wing it type of mentality going on this trip. Of I didn't want to have too many expectations. I wanted to just be able to walk around and kind of take it in. And, you know, if we saw something, go do that or eat there. But for Epcot, that's not really something that I would suggest ever doing again, because it was just so overwhelming of like, yes, no, let's just keep going and see if there's anything else. And the next thing you know, it's like, well, we walked around the world and we still haven't eaten anything because I'm too indecisive.
Yeah, because there's too many choices.
And we did a lot of walking. We, had like a little morning coffee type of thing, but didn't eat a big meal, knowing that, hey, we're going to Epcot, we're going to be eating and drinking. So at this point, I was getting a little hangry and like, I just need to pick something, but I'm too overwhelmed by it all.
So what did y'all decide on?
We finally went to just a place where I was like, this place, let's just go. Whenever it looks good. And I think it was in the like a Polynesian area, and we got like this shrimp with like the most like amazing like buttery garlic sauce on it with the rice, and had like a little tropical drink to go with it, and it was so good, very nice and like fulfilling, but wasn't over the top, getting the food coma feeling afterwards.
So I'm thinking that might have been out. Do you think it was between France and Morocco?
Yes, that's exactly where it was at.
Yes, I think it's called Isla Fresca because we ate there as well. We had the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Very good. Okay, so you made a good choice. At least you didn't like choose something that you're like, oh man, that wasn't that good.
That's where it was. Like every time we walked past the booth and checked out what they were serving, it was like, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound like, oh my gosh, I need this now.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so what'd y'all do after you got a snack?
We sat there. We saw the little princess cavalry parade go past, and that was super cute. I loved that. I am, again, just a big princess person when it comes to all of like the fairy tale Disney things. So love to see that go by. From there, we were like, okay, at this point we had walked all around Epcot, but we felt like we really hadn't seen it. We were running from ride to ride. And that's something like at Disneyland, I feel like, there's pretty areas to walk around, but it's all about the attractions. It's not just about the different places. And I was like, we need to really enjoy where we're at and see all these different things. So we kind of took our times walking in and out of each little country, seeing what they had and get to experience that.
That's fun. Yeah. It's when you can slow down and take your time through Epcot, it is quite the experience.
Definitely. It's not, so much an attraction type of park. It's more about the scenery and everything else that's there. So it's like, okay, you don't need to be rushing from one place to another. Let's see what they have in each little area to hold and, what could be different.
Yes, I agree. So was that your kind of the last thing y'all did while y'all were at Epcot? We
definitely just went from country to country, kind of seeing what people were eating or drinking, and, like, do we want to try that? Do we want to go over there? We went to the Japan area, and my husband saw, like, it was this beer, and it looked like it had, like, this frosty frozenness on top, and he's like, that looks amazing. It was definitely the humidity was starting to kick in. Wanted to go try that. So he tried that. It was different than what he experienced, and he was just like, it looks so cool. I want to try it.
Yeah, that's so funny. So what did y'all do when y'all left Epcot?
We made sure we hit everything. We went on, all the different rides. We hit Soarin' and there. But it was something that, even though it was the park that opened the latest, we finished in the least amount of time. We, got there at 11, and by 5 o'clock, we had done all the attractions. We are not big eating and drinking people. I know that there's a lot of, talk about drinking around the world or eating around the world, but with the humidity and the heat, we kind of just, like, there's no way that we could do that. So by, 5 o'clock, we were kind of felt like, you know what? Like, we felt like we've done enough here. We can stay here. It's open till 11, but maybe let's go head out. And if we want to come back, we know that we can. But, let's go check out something else.
Yeah. So what did y'all decide to do?
We decided to go to Disney Springs. And then from there, we realized, talking to a cast member, that we didn't have to go to our resort to get onto the bus to get to Disney Springs. He suggested, why don't you just go to the Beach Club Resort, which is right here behind us, and you can take the bus from there to Disney Springs to save yourself a lot of time. And that was one of the most helpful tips that we got the entire trip.
What did y'all think about the Beach Club Resort?
We loved it. It was so gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was definitely something that, like, it just looked so beautiful. The pools looked amazing. The resort was so gorgeous. My husband is like, he could stay in a Motel 6. He's a camping person. He does not need fancy schmancy, where I'm the person who kind of wants that extra indulgence, especially for a Disney trip. But even he was like, ooh, this would be really fun to stay here. I was like, yeah, it would.
Oh, yeah, that's like a bucket list for us. That resort is so nice. And just being able to walk to Epcot, and then Hollywood Studios is right there as well. Oh, it's so nice.
Seeing a little bit of the boardwalk area, like, it was just so cool to see that it was so close to everything and it had so much to experience in just that little area.
So how was it catching a bus there and going over to Disney Springs?
Super easy. I don't know why we felt like we were like cheating the system. Like, we aren't guests at this hotel, but we're using it. Like, right. Do people know? Do you people care? And no one cared. No one checks. So it was super easy just to get on the bus and head right over to Disney Springs, and was able to get inside right away.
So what did y'all do over there this evening?
So we just wanted to kind of walk around again. Again, didn't have reservations, but we were getting there a little bit earlier this time, and kind of at least had a little bit more lay of the land of kind of knowing of where to go and, what we wanted to do. We both were craving some Mexican food, which my husband basically survives just on chips and salsa. So he's like, I just want some chips and salsa. Like, some hot sauce. He's like, okay. So we went to put our name into one of the Mexican restaurants. I'm forgetting what the name is. But it's right next to Splitsville. It's one of, like, the bigger named restaurants over there.
Okay. I'm not quite sure, but yeah.
I'll have to, see what it would be. So we put our name in, and they gave us about like a little bit over an hour wait. No big deal. Let's walk around, kind of see what they have. There's so many different shops, and just to be able to kind of like take it all in. Getting to walk by the little lake area was like you could feel the breeze coming off, and it felt so amazing. So we just kind of definitely took our time, kind of killing time and just walking around. And as time got closer, we walked back over to the restaurant, like, oh, they have, like, the menu outside. Let's see what we want to order so we can we're starting to feel kind of hungry again. And we're looking at the menu, we realized it was not what we expected it to be. It was not your chips and salsa, tacos, burrito type of Mexican place. It was a more upscale place. And from there, we actually decided to ex-nay that idea and head somewhere else. So we walked over to House of Blues. And it was definitely busy. At this point, it's a Friday night. You can see all of the guests and tourists walking around there, but we were able to grab one of the little bar areas and take a seat there at House of Blues.
That's good. At least you didn't sit down at that restaurant and was like, wait, this isn't what I want.
Exactly. House of Blues is something that we have been to quite a few times here at home, and like, okay, we kind of know what to expect. Just wanted more of a low-key, easy meal.
That's great. So what'd y'all do after dinner?
After dinner, just walked around. We had to go to the M&M store. Our son is a big M&M fan. We were starting to, feel a little sad and guilty that, we were experiencing so much Disney without him, and thinking of, okay, what can we get him to make up for this? We went to M&M World to buy him some of his favorite little goodies and do that. And just really got to walk around. We're told, okay, you have to try Gideon's and check out the cookies. But that line, holy moly, was so crazy. to not ever get tried games and realize that was something that you need to get there a lot earlier for if you want to enjoy.
Yeah, cookies are good, but I don't know if I would wait in that line for cookies.
That's exactly what it was. My husband is not the sweet person, and he was like, "If you want to, I'll wait." I'm like, "No, I love me a good chocolate chip cookie, but I'm good. I can just grab whatever."
Yeah, that line can get crazy. So what'd y'all do after that?
After that, headed back to our resort just to go be able to relax, enjoy, and to get another good night's sleep. We were exhausted.
How was wearing masks at Epcot with it being so hot and humid?
It definitely felt it a little bit more. I felt like we took a little bit more rest of just going to sit down to be able to take our mask off, even just, drink our own water that we brought, but needed to kind of need that break to take the mask off to feel a little bit more refreshed and not just so overwhelmed by the heat.
Okay, so let's go on to your third park day. What park did y'all visit and how did you get there?
That was Animal Kingdom. Loved it, and we got there by the bus again.
Did y'all rope drop Animal Kingdom?
We were a little behind on rope drop. The park opened, I want to say, at 8, and we were walking in like a little bit before 8:30. So not quite at opening, but we weren't far behind.
What did y'all do? Like, what's the first thing you did when you got there?
We ran to Pandora. Hearing everything about it and just knowing that, again, that was the big attraction to go to. Thinking backwards, we realized, we were going with the crowd. Everybody had that same mindset, and everybody was running with us to Pandora. And, as we were running there, the line just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. On my app, it said, I think it was, a 40-minute wait. By the time we actually, found the cast member with the pull of end of the line here, I checked the app again, and it's it just jumped to a 75-minute wait. And it's oh no, did we make a mistake? Should we have gone somewhere else? And I started seeing the wait times everywhere else, and it was 5, 10, 20 minutes. And it was we had the herd mentality running here, but at that point didn't care, just wanted to be able to go on a ride.
What were your thoughts when you got into Pandora, just by the way it looked?
It was amazing. We both watched the movie. We liked it. My husband really enjoys it. And he's not something that, someone who's really, I guess, pays attention to the little details. But he was just, blown away, waiting in line. I'm oh my gosh, look at that, look at this. Just, it really transformed you in a completely different world. You could just see the Disney magic of feeling I feel like I'm in Pandora, that I'm not even at Disneyland, Disney World. I'm just in a completely different place.
It definitely makes standing in the line better because it's so beautiful. You can just look around and take everything in.
It was just, I think that I took so many pictures of just the scenery, which I wish I would have done more in all of the other parks. At Pandora, I have so many different pictures of just being oh my gosh, and look at this angle of it, and look over here, and look at all of these things. It was so fun.
It's so pretty. What were your thoughts of Flight of Passage?
It was amazing. I never had anything like that we've ever been on. The feeling of it was just we loved it so much. It was definitely as soon as we got off, we need to make sure we go on this again later. It is the coolest ride.
Yeah, Flight of Passage is just amazing. My daughter, she's 8, and she was yelling because she just thought it was so cool. And I was I felt like yelling too because it was just so. It feels like you're in the ride. It doesn't feel like a ride.
I'm definitely that person of, I'm a giggler. I'm a laughing person when I'm on a ride. That's just my happiness coming out. And I almost kind of felt bad for the person next to me because I was laughing and giggling the whole entire time just because it was you're truly in this movie. It's not even a ride. It's an experience that you are on.
I know. It's just amazing. I totally agree. So what did y'all do after Flight of Passage?
So we went on the other Pandora ride right next door, the Water Journey Village or
Navi
ride.
River Journey. How was that?
Yes. It was really pretty. Different from what we expected of like just getting on the boat and going through the land, but just really nice again to like take in the details of like how much they really put into this ride and area.
That's good. How long did you have to wait?
That one was about, so the flight of passenger, it said it was 75 minutes wait. We waited about 45, 50 minutes. So it was actually a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
The other ride, it said it was about a 50-minute wait. We waited about 35. So not bad at all. We were super happy we stayed and didn't. We were so close to abandoning the ride and, you know, maybe we'll come back later, but it was totally worth it to stay.
So what did y'all do after that ride?
After that, we went to the safari.
And how long was that wait?
That wait, again, it said it was kind of long. It said it was a 50-minute wait. It was about 40 minutes, not bad. My husband was a little like, why are we doing this? Like, you know, we've been to the zoo. Do we really have to go see animals? And I think, you know, sometimes at zoo experiences, it's like you walk up to the exhibit and you never see the animals. And he was kind of had like, was that how it's going to be? And it was not exactly super excited for it. It kind of was just going along with what I wanted to do. But once we got on it, he loved it. He never had that experience of being in like the safari type of car and like, you know, going through the different areas and the animals are just right there next to you and walking around.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Not really like a zoo, but yeah, it's easy to kind of look at all of Animal Kingdom and just be like, oh, it's a big zoo. But then when you get there, it's like so much more than a zoo.
It totally is. Like, there was just so many different elements to Animal Kingdom, but getting to see all the different animals. Like, I love, like, the one part we had to, like, stop in the trail because the zebra was eating in the middle of the road. And we had to wait for one of the keepers to kind of scoot him over.
Yeah,
and it's like that's just so cool that they're right next to us.
Yeah, it's like a real experience. That's great. So what did y'all do after the safari?
After that, already we were feeling that was one of the hottest days that we like checked on the weather and we were totally feeling it. Even just it being so early in the day, that was where we went to one of like the little rest areas. I think it's the where you can go maskless and then you can the rest that. And it was like, we need to go sit down. We had got some food for us and some drinks and we're able to kind of get a nice little spot next to the Tree of Life to just get to take that breath, get some cool air, some cool water, and to already cool down.
What were your like impressions of the Tree of Life and like walking into Animal Kingdom and seeing it?
That is absolutely my favorite part of Animal Kingdom. That if like going home and the memories that I have, the Tree of Life is one of my favorite things. Because we were just sitting there being like, oh look, there's a dolphin, oh there's a bear, and like pointing out to each other the different animals that we saw and like, you know, almost having like a contest of like who could find the most amount of animals or seeing something that nobody didn't see before. It was so much fun. It was just amazing.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful. So what did you do after y'all took your little rest break and ate a snack?
After that, we went to the little water rapids ride.
Oh, the Cali River Rapids? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't realize that was open. How was that?
It was so nice. Kind of knowing like it's a water ride, it was like perfect. You know, let's hope that we kind of even get a little bit wet. Maybe it will help us cool down. And that's what we heard, that it was something that was kind of more newly opened. It wasn't something that had opened the whole entire time. Mm-hmm. But super fun. Not a long wait. Maybe we waited 25 minutes for it. And that was a ride where it's like as we were sitting down, like we were right next to it where we rested, and it was like a 5-minute wait. By the time we got off, it was like a 40-minute wait. And then we got in line, and it was only like a 25-minute wait. So it was kind of like jumping all over the place. I think people, again, had that, like, let's go cool off on the water ride.
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially on a hot day. So what'd y'all do after that ride?
We went to Expedition Everest.
And how long was that wait?
That wait was about a 20-minute wait.
Did y'all like that ride?
Loved it. We're big roller coaster people, so that was super fun getting to experience that. My husband is actually like super into documentaries about Everest and has like watched a whole bunch recently. about, you know, people climbing up there and their journeys. And he was pointing out, like, in the queue and, like, seeing all the different stuff, that it was actually, like, really true to what really happens. And he was, like, so amazed at, like they literally have, like, a picture, or I know who that is because I saw that. So he really enjoyed that little area in the queue.
Yeah, that queue is so interesting. It makes waiting not even a big deal.
Not at all. Like, there was just so much to look at. Again, one of those things where it was almost like, I think we wish that the line was a little bit slower because we wanted to be able to take everything in and kind of, like, look at where it was.
Right, for sure. It's not fun when you have to rush through it and you're like, oh, hold on, I want to go see that.
Exactly.
Had you heard about this ride? Did y'all know it was going to do the whole backwards thing, or was that kind of a surprise?
I knew. My husband did not. So that was super fun. Like, I kind of knew what to expect, and he didn't. It was a little interesting as we were going up the first climb up the hill. It broke down for about a good 2 minutes, and I was, like, starting to get a little worried of, like, what are we doing? What's going to happen? We've never been broken down on a roller coaster before. Are we going to have to walk off the side? Like, starting to get a little nervous. My husband's like, is this supposed to happen? And I'm like, I don't think so.
That's pretty crazy because that's a steep, like, incline.
It was. It was not very a nervous person on a ride, but I was starting to get a little, like, jittery on that.
Oh, yeah, I would have too. That's pretty crazy. But then it started right back up and everything was fine.
Started right back up. Totally fine. Such a fun ride. We loved it. Like, I was really tempted once we got off to go wait back in line again. And he's like, well, we can come back. We'll come back.
One of my sons was like that. We'd get off and he'd go, let's go do it again. Let's go do it again.
Yeah.
It was fun. So what'd y'all do after that?
We went to the dinosaur area, Dino USA.
What do you think about that?
That was when we got so heartbroken that our son was not with us. We were so excited to have this adult trip. We haven't had a vacation, just us. And we went for our 8-year anniversary. The last time we went for, like, a long trip was our first anniversary we had. So it was totally needed. And we love our son, but we were ready for a break. But my son is the most dino-obsessed kid there is. And seeing that there was, like, Disney and dinos coming together, it was like, oh my gosh, Carter would love this. Like, it's starting to feel sad.
That's so hard.
That's what we were spending our time, like, walking into the shops. I'm like, I need to find all the Disney dinosaur stuff I can to be able to bring home to him.
Oh, that's so sweet. Did y'all do the dinosaur ride?
We did. That was one of, I think, the longest, if not the longest wait we waited in our whole entire trip.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
It said it was like a 15-minute wait, and I think we waited a little bit over an hour for it.
Oh, wow.
It was really long, so hot. It definitely got to the point where my cousin was in line. We ran out of water. And I started feeling lightheaded. He's like, why don't you go grab some water and go sit down while I hold the spot? Because it was such a long wait, and the heat was totally getting to me.
Oh, my gosh. Did y'all like the ride?
We did. Different from what I thought it would be. I tried not to do too much, like, investigating into the ride because I wanted to be surprised and doing things. So it was super fun. Because my son is so dino obsessed, we know a lot about the different dinosaurs and their names. My husband and I had fun of, like, pointing out the different dinosaurs and seeing what we could find. So that was really cute.
That's so fun. Yeah. Probably made it a little bit better. Yeah. Knowing what
who
was who.
Exactly. We took a lot of pictures in the queue because then you walk in, there's the skeleton of the Carnotaurus and all the other stuff. And my husband took, I think, like, a picture of every single type of skeleton or animal I had in there and was like, okay, we can show Carter this. I'm like, we'll just tell him we went to a museum.
So what'd y'all do after Dinosaur?
After that, we went to It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Did that have a long wait or a pretty short wait?
It actually did. We kind of thought, like, it might be a quick little wait because it wasn't, like, you know, there's so many different major attractions at Animal Kingdom, but it was about a good 35-minute wait. But the best part is, again, being right next to the Tree of Life and being able to see all the different carvings and then being in the queue for a tough to be a bug and all the other animals that they have carving. And again, just having so much fun pointing out the animals. Like, that is my main memory I think I'll take away from that trip.
That's really great. What do you think about that show/experience?
We had it at California Adventure years ago, but it got taken away a little bit, so it was fun. I haven't been on it in so long. Definitely was that person that had to kind of sit up and hover over the seats when the hornets were going to start attacking us. As much as I know it's going to come, I'm like, nope, it creeps me out. It scares me. I don't like it. But very nice, again, to be able to sit down in an air conditioning room with like, do we have to leave? Can we sit in here a little bit longer?
You're like, one more time, please.
Exactly.
What'd y'all do after that?
After that, it was definitely time for another little snack break. And it was so nice to be able to get a little Mickey ice cream bar and ice cream sandwich. And just sat down at a table. I love that Animal Kingdom has fans everywhere, not just in the lines for the attractions, but just throughout the park. And we found an empty table, and there was a fan nearby. It was off, and my husband actually had to go over and found the switch and turned it on.
Oh, nice. And that's so smart.
I was like, what are you doing? And he turned it on. I was like, okay, I'm not mad at you anymore. Like this, thank you. And it was so nice. And just sitting there and getting to people watch and enjoy a nice cool ice cream bar was amazing.
That's so fun. What'd y'all do after your snack?
After that, we decided actually to go back to Pandora and enjoy that again. The line looked like it was a little bit shorter. So I was able to go do Flight of the Passenger again.
That's so fun. That's so cool. You got to do it twice in one day.
And that was like, when people like, you did it twice? Like, how long did you wait? Like, that was like hearing people who have been in previous years were like so amazed by that fact.
Yeah, because even though, I don't know, did the park feel crowded to y'all?
Not really, no. It was definitely like not empty, but it wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't feeling like we had to fight through the crowds to get through different people. It was very doable.
Yeah, I think they're saying because there is no fast pass that these lines that usually you can only go on these rides one time, fast pass isn't slowing it down so you can ride it multiple times, which is an interesting theory.
Very. And because we booked so last minute, it was kind of really nice. Like I was telling my husband, usually you have to book fast passes. Like at Disneyland, you don't book fast passes. You just get them the day that you're there. And so like he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, it totally worked out in our favor. There's no fast passes right now because we wouldn't be able to enjoy these lines. And we'd be waiting for who knows how long to be able to go on this. So like that was really nice to be able to just pick what we wanted to go on, when we wanted to go on it, and not like whatever the line was, you just kind of dealt with it.
Yeah, that's really nice. So what'd y'all do after that?
We went to the little restaurant that's right next to Pandora.
Satuli Canteen?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And this was our first time actually being able to use and take advantage of the mobile ordering through the app. We weren't really hungry, just wanted a little snack and a drink. And I am not a big drinker, but they had a kiwi margarita that just looked amazing. And I will say, out of everything on the whole entire trip, was my most favorite thing that I drank that whole entire time. It was the best thing I've ever had.
That sounds so good. Pandora has some delicious adult beverages.
They do. And then we got the little dessert that's like the lemon and blueberry parfait. Again, I have a picture of them, and that is something that I remember most. And I'm like, okay, that's, whatever there's a time to go back, I just want to go back to enjoy this.
Yes, that's awesome. So what'd y'all do after you ate?
We kind of just started looking at the wait times and where we wanted to go. And we saw that Expedition Everest only had a 5-minute wait. And I'm like, oh, we have to go over there. So we ran back over to Expedition Everest. Definitely did a lot of walking that day. It is a smaller park, so didn't feel like we were doing a long time. I feel like to just walk across the park only took 10 minutes. So we were able to kind of jump wherever we wanted to. And we ended up going to Expedition Everest, and because the wait was so short, we actually did go on 3 times in a row. Like, you just get off and go back on, and off and on, off on again.
That's so fun. What'd y'all do after that?
That we actually decided just to kind of sightsee, go walk around, make sure we didn't forget anything. This was like the first park that I was like, I really want to walk through the shops and be able to get some souvenirs. And, you know, I loved Animal Kingdom so much. It's something that Disneyland does not have. There's nothing even close or similar to it. And I was like, I want to remember this. I feel like at all the other parks we've been to at that point was just something that's like, oh, it's, you know, very similar to Disneyland, but this was like unreal and something that was, I wanted to take everything home with me.
Yeah, it's a great experience. I agree. So what time did y'all leave this park?
We left there about 6:30, and they were only open till 8, so we took a lot of time in that park. It was the one park that we didn't quite stay from open to close, but it was the closest that we got to it.
Well, y'all did everything. I think you literally did everything.
We did everything, you know, still with no shows being open or anything else. It was kind of like a little sad because we knew that if there was those, we would be able to kind of fill up the day a little bit easier and to experience more. But we felt like we accomplished so much in that park that it was like, we can stay longer, but, you know, at this point, we're tired. We've done it all. I feel like it's okay if we go.
What'd y'all do when y'all left the park?
This was the one night that I was so exhausted, and I was like, I don't think I can even have enough energy to go to Disney Springs. Let's just go back to the resort, eat dinner there, and just have a night in the room.
Yes, sometimes that is just needed to recoup.
It definitely was.
Okay, so the next day, that's going to be y'all's 4th park day, and that was y'all's last park day, correct?
It was.
And where did y'all go?
So we went back to Magic Kingdom. Ideally, we wanted to be able to hit all the 4 major parks, but when we made our reservations, all of Hollywood Studios is booked for all 4 of those days.
Gotcha.
So a little sad, a little disappointed, but knowing that a majority of the rides they had at Hollywood Studios, we have back home, it was kind of like, okay, you know, next time we'll hit there.
Yeah.
But of all the 3 parks, we felt like Magic Kingdom was what we wanted to experience again because it felt like it had the most to offer and be able to kind of enjoy another full day there.
So how did y'all do Magic Kingdom this day since you had already done it previously and kind of done almost all the rides, I think? I think y'all did almost all the rides the first day.
We did. Kind of just really wanted, I want to be able to enjoy more. I felt like we just rushed from one thing to another so much on our first day. Then, like, let's kind of just walk around, let's stroll. And at first, like, maybe we can sleep in and, you know, not get there early. But knowing we had such an amazing experience of being there so open or so early at opening that I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm just going to get up and power through this. We didn't get there quite as early, but we were still walking down Main Street 10 minutes before the park had opened. So it was still very empty, very nice to kind of just take those last minute photos and videos, able to go and get our photo taken in front of the castle with it not being too crowded to have the crowds behind us. It was really nice.
I'm very impressed y'all made it so early on your last day. Usually people are like, done. That's awesome.
We were so exhausted, but I think it was just that like little last of push we had in us. Like, okay, it is our last day. Let's make the most of it. We don't want to waste our day knowing that tomorrow we can rest and, you know, we'll be able to relax and, you know, enjoy it. Let's just make the most of the day we have.
That's awesome. So what'd y'all do? Like, did y'all do the same rides? How did your day end up working out?
We did a lot of the same rides. We went back to Mine Train. So, and going on Main Train this time, we did not know that the little log that you're in rocks back and forth until the person in front of us were doing it, and we're like, what? And that was like a whole new experience to the ride. We liked the ride beforehand, but once we knew that we could do that, we loved it. We had so much fun going back and forth. Like, it just made the ride so much better.
That's so fun. That is a neat feature. But yeah, I don't think most people realize it the first time they ride it. It's like you have to ride it a few times to figure that out.
Totally. We ended up going on that ride again later on, and we were with somebody, and the people behind us like noticed what we were doing, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we've been on this ride, I don't know, for years, 20 plus times, and we never knew it did this." And they were just like having so much fun, like helping us like go back and forth and yelling to their family in the cart in front of them, like, "Look at us, look what it can do." Like that was so much fun.
That's so fun. That's one great thing about Disney is the people that travel there are always just so happy. Like for the most part, everyone's so nice. Even when you're in line, everyone's just so nice and happy to be there. It's fun.
It totally is.
So what other rides did y'all do?
We ran back to go on Thunder Mountain. I never knew my husband was such a Thunder Mountain fan until we got there. Like I didn't realize how much he loved and missed that ride. So we went on Thunder Mountain, maybe like a 10-15 minute wait. As soon as we got off, do you want to do it again? We got right back on again. So we're able to go do that.
That's fun. Overall, this day, did y'all do anything new? Did you eat anything new?
We did. We did the Philharmonic that day, which we didn't do the first day. So that was kind of fun. My husband had never been on it or seen it before. So that was just a good inside, cool sit-down area. Really did that. We were able to get a corn dog from Disney, which, again, on that bucket list of my food that I needed to try again. I think we, like, really took our time knowing that we didn't have reservations, like the big meal, like we had the first day for Be Our Guest. I felt like we kind of wanted to snack a little bit more and just kind of enjoy the day.
Yeah, that's fun. Sometimes it's fun to just snack instead of sit down and eat.
That's exactly what it was.
Anything else you want to say about this park day?
It was just a really fun day. So that was the day it had said it was going to be like a 90% chance of rain. We were kind of like, we were prepared. We brought our ponchos. We had umbrellas. We were kind of like, okay, we need to get as much of the outdoor rides done, not knowing of when it was going to start downpouring. But we were there until about 7 o'clock, and besides a quick little 5-minute drizzle, it actually ended up never raining on us.
Oh, wow.
So we were so fortunate.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
So this was... rides. Oh, no, you can go.
That was just the day where we went on a lot of the same rides, but just multiple times. Just like, let's go do it again. Like, let's just, do whatever we want to do and go enjoy.
So this was a Saturday, right? Was the park busy?
It was a Sunday.
Oh, it was a Sunday. Okay.
It was a Sunday, and it was definitely a lot busier than what we experienced on the Thursday we were there.
Okay.
On the other day. So, yeah, that was something where the first day, I think the Haunted Mansion never got more than like a 10-minute wait, where this day it was like a 25, 30-minute wait at some points in the day.
Yeah, okay.
So that was where we were kind of, instead of being able to just walk on the rides, it was like, well, let's just go sit here and go, people watch, or let's just enjoy, or if we have that snack to munch on, we can experience all the other things.
What time did y'all leave this park?
We left there about 7:30.
Okay, so y'all stayed almost till, what time did it close?
They closed at 9.
Okay.
So I felt kind of guilty. We were like, we were definitely ready to leave earlier than that, but I was telling my husband, I was like, I feel like almost like I'm cheating Magic Kingdom if I don't see the castle at night. Like, I just want to be able to see the castle at nighttime and see Main Street lit up. Like, I feel like if I don't see that, I feel like I didn't really see all of Magic Kingdom.
Uh-huh. It's so beautiful at night.
It was so nice. That definitely... We didn't do a lot of shopping the previous days, knowing that, we didn't want to carry things with us, and we had other times. So a good portion of our day Magic Kingdom was taking the time to walk through the shops, grab our souvenirs, our little take-home things, and make sure we didn't miss those goodies, too.
That's nice that y'all had 2 full days, so you can really enjoy it.
It was. as much as we loved Animal Kingdom and everything else, I don't feel like there was another park that we would have wanted to really spend another day at. So 2 days at Magic Kingdom was our best option.
That's great. So y'all rode the bus back to your resort that evening, and that was good? No, not a long wait or anything?
Not a long wait at all. Super easy. Even though we left later in the day, I was like, oh, are we going to have a longer wait? There was more people at the bus, but we were able to get on the first bus without a problem.
And what did y'all do that evening?
We ended up going back to Disney Springs. So again, just wanting to do that last minute shopping, go do everything else. The food at the hotel was good, but it wasn't anything that we really kind of felt like we needed to relive or do twice, or we know that Disney Springs had more options.
Yeah, I feel like there's a restaurant that's not yet open at Caribbean Beach. That's
there
supposed
is.
to be really
the
good.
Sebastian restaurant.
Yes. Yeah.
And that, besides the two that we went to, which has like the mobile ordering, which kind of has like your normal regular food, pizza, mac and cheese, a burger, and then the other one, which is like the Caribbean bar food, there wasn't a lot of other food options that we were like, ooh, we really want this.
Yeah. So what were your overall thoughts of your trip?
It was so big. I was, had been told Disney World is so much bigger than Disneyland, and thinking like, well, Disneyland is really big. Like, it can't be that, much of a difference. But no, it's just so spread out. Of course, there's 4 different parks, so that makes a lot of sense. But it's like, having to take buses to go from one place to other, where at Disneyland, Downtown Disney, Disneyland, and California Adventure are all in the same area that you just walk to. You park in one place, you take a train or bus over, and you just walk everywhere else in that little area.
So how old is your son right now?
My son is 6.
Yeah, of course little kids do go, but yeah, it's a lot of walking.
We tracked all of our steps and our days, and the 4 days that we went to the parks, we walked a total of 55 miles. And we talked that there was no way that my son could have ever kept up. Like, we would have had to bring to the stroller, or a lot of shoulder carrying. Like, we could barely handle it. My husband's a very athletic person, and he was definitely feeling the soreness the last day.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. What was your favorite park that you went to?
Animal Kingdom. I love Magic Kingdom. It's the closest thing to what we have back here in California, but Animal Kingdom was just so fun. It's just a completely different experience from any other park that we have, and they did such an amazing job.
What was your favorite memory? Do you have one memory that kind of stood out while you were there?
I think truly was our first morning walking into Magic Kingdom, seeing the castle, hearing the Main Street music. That's just I'm tearing up talking about it, because it was just that's at the moment I have waited my whole life to go to, Disney World and feel that. That's
so special. And the good news is, whenever you take your son back, you get to relive it through him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we took my daughter this year, seeing her see it for the first time, it's like seeing it for the first time again. So that you'll get to have that again. So that's so fun.
I'm so excited for that day to come.
So what are some things that maybe didn't go great, or things that you would do differently?
I think we had heard so much about Epcot. Epcot was just I feel oh my gosh, we've heard some people, that's our favorite. We love Epcot, eating around the world, drinking around the world. And it just wasn't exactly our favorite thing. We are more of the attraction, the shows type of people, where Epcot was just so much eating and drinking that I felt like it wasn't that appealing to us. My husband and I did have a good conversation of, okay, when the time comes or we want to come back, is this even a park that we would really want to spend the full day with our son? And we both agreed that it really wasn't that big of a deal, and we would maybe want to go back. My husband was almost ready to say, I could totally skip Epcot. It just wasn't a park that we felt like a kid especially could really enjoy.
Yeah. When we went, my boys were 9 and 8. and they hated Epcot. But this year when we went back and they're 15 and 14, they liked it. So I think the kids need to be a little bit older.
Yes, exactly.
There's not enough rides.
No. And my son also loves Frozen. And like that was like the one thing once we told him of where we went, he's like, did you go on the Frozen ride? But even then I'm like, even though he would have liked the ride, like the rest of the day he kind of just been like, really, Mom? Is this it?
It'd be a good time to get a park hopper and then do like a half a day at Epcot and then go over to like Hollywood Studios since it's so close.
That's exactly what we talked about. I'm saying like this is a park hopper day that like not a full day needed, but a half day, to experience like the big things that you want to go do.
Right, for sure. What else maybe was something you would do different if there is anything else?
We did like the resort that we stayed at, the Caribbean Beach Resort, but it is not somewhere that I feel like we would stay again. It was a very cute and fun area, but it wasn't as big, or I just didn't feel like we got as much bang as our buck for the stay that we had in that room.
Okay, that's good to know, yeah. How was y'all's travel day home? Was like, what time did your flight leave, and how was Magical Express back to the airport?
So our flight left the Orlando airport at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were kind of surprised. We love that, the Magical Express, when you walk in the night before, they have like a little letter on your door of everything already set up. And it said the Magical Express would pick us up at a little after noon, which we're like, that's, I think it was, our flight actually left at 4, excuse me. And this picking up at 7, I'm like, well, that's kind of early. The ride's only 20 minutes to the airport. Do we really have to get there that early? But it made a lot of sense once we got to the airport and seeing how crowded it was and the security line, like, oh, this makes a lot more sense now. And then the difference that we experienced with the Magical Express from leaving the airport to our resort and then leaving the resort to the airport is that we stopped at a lot of different resorts to pick up other guests, and that took a lot more time. It wasn't just a quick little short drive back and forth.
Yeah, it's either, I feel like sometimes with that, you either are like the first one where then you have to wait for everyone, or you're like the last one getting picked up, so it's a shorter ride. But yeah, it can go either way.
It was, we were kind of like, oh, maybe we can get a later bus and we don't have to worry about it, but we were glad we didn't. We had the intentions maybe like going to go to Disney Springs early in the morning and do a few little last minute things or try some stuff there, but we were so exhausted did not end up making it there. That was the one day it was raining pretty heavily in the morning. We did love at the hotel that they had even the mobile ordering from there. So we were able to mobile order our Mickey waffles, and my husband was kind enough to go and pick up the food and bring it back to the room so we could just kind of really like sit and relax before we left.
Yes, that is a great thing I hope never leaves, is being able to bring your breakfast back to your room.
Absolutely. Way less, cost effective than doing a room service. It wasn't an option, but, still getting the feeling of eating Mickey waffles in bed was so fun.
Oh, yes, for sure. Okay, so it sounds like you had a really great trip, especially for being your first time. So it sounds like everything went pretty smooth.
We really did. Like, there wasn't anything that we felt that we really missed or something that we were like, oh my gosh, what a terrible experience we had. Like, overall, it was just it really was magical. It was so fun.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to say about the trip?
I loved the trip. We've already made plans, or not plans, but talks of when we want to go next, and we definitely want to go again, bringing our son next time. Our ideal idea would be 2 years from now. Very interested in the fact that we've only gone during COVID and pandemic time, what it's going to be like when there's hopefully at that time, mask it all, and there's fireworks and shows, and excited for what that will bring for us.
I think that's a great time period too, because the Tron ride should definitely be open, and then the Guardians ride should be open. So yeah, that sounds like a great time.
And that's what we figured, is that all those should be open, and, new things to experience, and, all of that fun stuff that our son can enjoy more. He can keep up with us a little bit more. The other big thing that we talked about would make a difference is, of course, we want to go for a longer amount of time, plan a little bit further out than, just 3 weeks, and to have rest days in between the parks. I feel like we did miss out so much on the one thing was just every resort has so much to offer that we didn't get to go to any of those resorts to experience that kind of stuff. Or we, as much as the pool looks so amazing, we didn't have a pool day, and to have those days to really just kind of relax, recuperate, and just to take in everything else besides just the parks or Disney Springs.
Well, that sounds like a good plan. Sometimes that first trip is a learning experience.
Absolutely it was. And as much as we missed our son, I'm kind of glad that he didn't go, just because I feel like once we do take him, he can get a better experience out of it.
For sure. Okay, well, thanks so much for coming on the show, Jackie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about Jackie and her husband's anniversary trip to Disney World. To see pictures from their vacation, visit our Instagram page at Disney Travel Tales. If you would like more information on how our sponsor Trolley Lane Travel can help you plan your next Disney vacation, please visit trolleylanetravel.com. Be sure to mention that Disney Travel Tales sent you. When you plan a trip with Trolley Lane Travel and would like to be featured on the show, let your agent know. This is how I get my guest, and of course, my show would not be successful without your vacation stories. And finally, please help support the podcast by rating and reviewing it on the platform that you are listening. This is the best way for people to become familiar with the show. I look forward to being with you next Tuesday for a new show and guest. Until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.